right, we are back once again. It's Monday, January something, no 25th, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That means it's time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News on VegasAllNetRadio.com. My name is Bill Miller. I'm co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And once again, welcome. We have got a jam-packed show today.
Yep.
And really looking forward to it. We're going to talk about the NFL weekend.
Yes, sir.
Super Bowl teams are there. And, of course, that now that the actual hype won't probably start for another week once they land at the Bay Area and then the teams get settled, and then we'll all be saturated with it. But, bringing everybody up to speed. Of course, the call-in line, 702-483-4444. 702-483-4444. Talk about all things Southern Nevada sports related. We're going to have a great show today. We've got the GM, Z Khan, of the UNLV men's hockey team.
Yes. In
case you didn't know, there is hockey here in Las Vegas.
That's right.
At UNLV. And actually, they're a very good team. And junior center Axel Anderton is also going to be joining us as well. And then we've got a young man on the prep level. His name is Vasa Hansel, who's a senior at Desert Pines High School. And we're going to get a chance to chat with him. Desert Pines coming off a successful season. Great season. And, led by their coach over there, Tico Rodriguez, I believe is the head coach. Tico. And so if, you'd like to talk about Desert Pines High School or UNLV men's hockey, again, the call-in line 702-483-4444. So let's get with it. I got 50-50 over the weekend.
Yeah.
Carolina came through as I thought they would.
In a big way.
In a big way. I didn't think it would be that bad, but they came through in a big way. And pleasantly surprised that Denver pulled out the game against New England.
Yep.
A lot of people are surprised by that. But I think that there's a sentimental favorite in seeing Peyton Manning, considering what the discussions were about him a month ago. Versus him now going to the Super Bowl.
Yes. And
a chance to go out a winner. A la his president of the club, by the way.
John Elway.
Who left a winner, back-to-back Super Bowl wins.
Well, hopefully Peyton Manning will do that little somersault for a touchdown. I would actually love to see that.
I would, too. I think he would love to see it.
I'd actually like to pay money for that.
Well, certainly the Manning family would like to see it.
As long as he falls down, okay. But
that was, I think that was a pleasant surprise. And again, I say that. First time, really, I didn't have an axe to grind, and I didn't have a dog in the fight. Usually there's somebody I'm sort of rooting against because I'm a Buccaneer fan, and obviously.
So you weren't rooting against the Broncos, being a Chiefs fan?
No.
Okay.
No. My mom, believe it or not, is a huge Bronco fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of Peyton
So
Manning.
You wanted to eat on Sunday, so you obviously had to root for the Broncos.
Yes, and so I knew that she was absolutely cooking. She wouldn't tell me what she was going to have.
She always cooks on Sunday.
Well, it turns out we had barbecue, which was great. She beef ribs, pork rib, and chicken.
Can't pass that.
She made an amazing potato salad, which is called red, white, and blue. The blue being blue cheese. And it's
very nice.
Yeah, it's actually my oldest son's recipe from one of his restaurants that he worked.
Fantastic.
And it's absolutely delicious.
So he shared a recipe with Mom or Grandma?
Well, he'll share it with Grandma.
Not you, though.
Not me, but he'll share it with Grandma.
Because you might be able to make some financial advancement with that.
There you have it. Hey, I'm always looking for an angle.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, and then, of course, just unfortunately, the game, the second game, did get boring, and I ended up finally just sort of turning it off.
Unless you had the overs on the turnovers, then it would have been interesting.
Well, and I'll tell you the absolute game-changing moment, unfortunately, was the punt flub by Peterson.
Yeah.
This is a 17-7. Arizona had just scored. Little momentum. And then they had 3 and out for Carolina. This is a chance to get the ball back.
Yep.
About 4 minutes left in the half.
And good field position.
Yep. And it was, again, when I saw it, he ran up on it, he fumbled it. I looked at my mom. I said, Mom, this is what they call a game changer. I said, I guarantee you Carolina's going to score on this drive. And sure enough, instead of it being maybe 17-10, and again, a game. it was 24-7.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but a couple other times when Arizona had drove down, was intercepted in the end zone. I mean, the turnovers just kept coming and coming, and it was just an onslaught.
The back-to-back turnovers. There was, after the kickoff, then there was a fumble, by Palmer.
Yep.
And then, of course, then there's the pick by Arizona. So they get the ball back. Then there's the pick by Carolina in the end zone. And I'm going like, man, I can see where this thing is going.
The one thing that I appreciated, I'm a big fan of, putting teams away. And
me too.
The NFL is not really big on that. The NFL kind of likes to see teams kind of hang around a little bit. And the way that Carolina just went, literally after them and then scored and then literally just kept going after them.
Yeah.
I mean, there had to be – the people that had the over obviously were screaming, which was me. I did have the over. And then I did take the over in the second half because I didn't think it was going to happen the way that it did.
Right.
I actually thought that Arizona was actually going to put together a game.
Right.
And actually, the game would go over that way. I had no idea that it was going to go the way that it did. But, hey, hats off to Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He kept the team in it. There's so many weapons that were available. Tolbert got some good plays. Stewart, Gwynn had the nice the reverse.
Oh, there was just
run.
The different type of running plays that they were able to. It wasn't just a simple running game. All right, we need to keep the offensive line honest, and linebackers honest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. No. This was a well-mapped-out strategy, and I believe after last week's defensive posture to play not to lose that game as opposed to, when they had the opportunity to really step on Seattle's throat, they opted this time we're not taking any chances. They learned what they did happen last weekend, and there was no way in the world they were going to allow Arizona an opportunity to get back into that game.
Did you see the last 6 games? Last 6 home games, they led by 17 points or more?
No.
They actually gave that statistic. The last 6 home games, they led at 17 points or more.
Well, I know one of them was the Buccaneers. So
right? Well,
I knew that could be at least 30.
So it looks like we have Ryan on the line. Ryan is from A7FL. Ryan, are you there?
I'm here. How you guys doing?
Good,
pretty
man.
Good,
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Now, this is A7, folks. If you did not know about this is adult 7-on-7 tackle, no pads football.
Is that a good enough description, Ryan?
Yeah, it kind of gets everybody. It doesn't paint the picture right away until you see some video of it. But yeah, we're 7-on-7, full contact, no pads. It's pretty wild.
Yes, and I wanted that kind of hang over there.
Just sink in a little bit.
Kind of take that in. No, he didn't say no pads. It's maybe this is just something else. But so please, Ryan, this is an opportunity we'd really like for you to explain the concept of this league. First of all, how long has this been in development?
We actually started in 2006, so we're heading into our 11th season. Last year we went through a rebranding phase into the A7FL and also our expansion phase. Basically, it started out as just my own desperation to still play football. I still wanted to play back in 2006. We didn't have pads, and so that's how we started out, and it's actually turned out to be a safer game. You have to wrap up in this league. You can't just fly in with a blind elbow. You can't obviously lead with your head. So the topics started coming out, and we got written up in Forbes last year, and people are starting to say, hey, you know what? This is a safer way to play football. There's no helmet to helmet. There's no repetitive headshots that you get in a traditional style football game, and the gameplay is awesome. We still play 100 yards, but we shrink the width of the field. You could run any type of offense that you see in 11s. You guys come out and run wishbone. They run spread. It's great. You got to take a look at it. You can go on a7fl.com and you can check out some of the videos. Some great players that passed through here, and we're definitely really excited for what the future holds.
Well, we spoke a few weeks back about some expansion to the West Coast, and obviously with the NIF as one of the parent or I guess subsidiary companies of Southern Nevada Football LLC. There's a lot of capability to develop leagues like the A7, and we're really excited about it, man. I've been watching, and we have pretty deep roots with the football and rugby community in Las Vegas and in California. The rugby guys love this because it's not the traditional, Australian rules football that they're used to playing.
Right.
So there's a lot of good stuff that could happen with this. I mean, what are your immediate plans for expansion?
What's the immediate plans for expansion? It's tough to say. I mean, we definitely want to get in some new markets. Right now, we're really popular in the Northeast. It's kind of congested up here, so we have a lot of cities in a small radius. So we get teams from Baltimore to New York to Pennsylvania, New Jersey. And we're starting to flirt with the idea of, how do we roll this thing out? Do we want to roll out with a concentrated amount of teams in one area, or do we want to have maybe one team in Las Vegas, one team in San Francisco? So that's, we're in it right now and trying to plan for this expansion. Everybody that sees this thing, they get out of their seat. The hits just keep coming. They love it. And, we'll see. Maybe
I like the team in Las Vegas idea.
This year, which is when we kick it off, and then we'll see where the expansion takes us.
How can folks get in touch with you?
They can go right on the website a7fl.com. You just search A7FL on Facebook. You'll see a bunch of videos on there. We got guys commenting all over the world. I got to go on there all the time and hit the translate button. You get these Japanese football players commenting on it. They love this stuff. If you're in a third world country or somewhere where football never existed, you can't just pick up a football and find equipment and play.
Yeah.
With our game, you can just find the ball and play. That's why soccer's so big. Kids can just pick up a soccer ball and play.
And basketball, and
basketball, exactly. Now with this game, we actually had guys in Mexico and Venezuela starting to film and play what they call A7 mode. They call it A7 mode, and they're starting to experiment and play football. And it looks a little funny because they didn't grow up playing this game. We all played in the backyard.
Hey, we'll go down and train them, Ryan. Don't worry, buddy.
Pads on, Well, once the kids start catching on, that's how it's going to expand.
The one thing with regard to the rugby players is that it's not that constant flow that rugby has.
Right.
So you have the, all right, line up, and then we're going to run a play, or there's a huddle and that sort of thing. So because I've been to the Series 7 rugby tournament here in Vegas,
which is coming up.
Yeah, which is coming up.
I'm very excited about that, by the way.
And and again, it relies on speed more than anything because of the size of the field. And the fact is, there's only 7 guys. One missed tackle, and then
he's gone.
He's gone. But I can really see this as being, I played football in high school, but some of the most fun football games we had were tackle games where, where we didn't have any equipment whatsoever.
Bloody noses, broken collarbones.
And there was always that one game after Thanksgiving that we used to get together and
play.
Turkey
Bowl, man.
Yeah, find the muddiest field that had rained, the crappiest field, and that's where you played it. But nobody ever got hurt because you were always cognizant.
Of course, yeah.
You're not going to leave with your head. We all had, hopefully day jobs by then.
Right.
And so we certainly didn't want to sacrifice any more brain cells than we absolutely had to.
The fact that there will be doctors, coming in on this, and concussion specialists, and they're actually going to be able to do some studies, based on the way that this is done. Seattle Seahawks do a great job of the rugby tackling, and I think that with A7 coming along, the rugby, the whole idea and the concept will be big, and Ryan, I'm just looking. I'm excited to see you spearheading this thing, and to see Southern Nevada Football LLC get involved with it.
Did you guys see the movie Concussion?
I have not seen
I
it,
have not
but
seen it yet.
I have heard, good and bad.
If you start to see some of these ex-NFL guys, like Antoine Randall just came out with an article how he regrets ever playing football. If you read the comments and what parents are saying, and football with pads is over. It's top heavy now. The moms don't want it anymore. Yeah. I mean, when you see the movie Concussion, which you're going to learn, those repetitive shots to the head is what's causing this CTE. So we're working with a mouthpiece company now that they actually put a little SD card inside, and they could actually gauge and see the data and what type of head trauma that you're getting in a football game. So once we put data to this, I think people are going to see, you don't get that repetitive head trauma like you do in a traditional football game.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, this is absolutely exciting news. And again, we were looking forward to the opportunity to actually have you on the show. Folks, and that's a7fl.com. And again, we're talking about adult tackle football, 7-on-7, no pads. And again, that's a7fl.com. Yeah.
And Ryan, we'll be in touch with you a little bit more. Obviously this is groundbreaking what you guys are doing, and we plan on some West Coast expansion and working with you guys, and we're excited, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. I appreciate you guys having me on the show, and we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you very much.
I talked to Sean earlier today, and we are going to make a commitment to get out to Jersey, so I expect you to make sure I get some good pie and everything while I'm there.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Looking forward to having you guys. Yeah, come check out a game. We'll go hang out in Atlantic City a little bit. Sure.
Oh, I like it.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, that was Ryan of a7fl.com. We're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Z Khan and Axel Anderton of the UNLV men's hockey team. You're listening to Southern Nevada Sports News on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Welcome to the Pride. All right, we are back for round two. Southern Nevada Sports News on VegasAllNetRadio.com. My name is Bill Miller, along with
Jeff Belknap.
And as indicated in our first segment, we are joined by members of the UNLV men's hockey team, starting at the top, I guess one of the brain trusts, GM Z Khan.
Thanks for having us.
All right, appreciate it. And junior center, Axel Anderton. Axel, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks
well, thank you very much for joining us. I don't want to, say this, but I have to. Obviously, I was surprised that there is actually a UNLV men's hockey team.
You wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, and but again, I am pleasantly surprised. I grew up a hockey fan, even though I grew up in Los Angeles, and I know that people are surprised to say this. I did play junior hockey until I was about 19.
Wow.
And enjoyed that. I started playing midget hockey when I was, I think, 13 or 14. Played juniors for a year or two. Really enjoyed it. And then, I was really, getting involved in school. I was knee-deep into it. And I certainly wasn't on a scholarship of any kind. It was a club team. And then I actually ended up getting married. Yeah, and
that'll ruin everything.
Yeah, well, yeah. You hear that? My ex-wife, Darlene, you hear that? Yeah, I had this budding career. Diehard Kings fan.
Oh,
Me too.
Yeah, and so it was. So when I found out about this, I really was surprised, and I'm looking forward to actually going out to the games.
Yes,
we're looking forward to
Bill, you actually missed it last time we went.
I missed it. That's when you
the after party you definitely missed.
Yeah, well,
it's a good thing you didn't go.
And just in time, by the way. The UNLV team has two games coming up this Friday and Saturday. They play out of the Las Vegas Ice Center, which is at 9295 West Flamingo Road, and that's Las Vegas 89147. Face off 4:30 on both Friday and Saturday, and against University of Texas El Paso.
Correct.
Now, so first of all, let's give us some background on the UNLV hockey program. Let's start with the GM, since he's got the seniority here.
Well, the program's been around for about 10 to 12 years, 2005 I want to say. So it's come a long way. This season especially, we've put a lot of effort into recruiting and really just changing the overall culture of the program. In the short time that I've been involved this past season, we've come in from an unranked program to number 9 currently in the West, and probably looking to finish a little higher than that as well. Remaining games, we have 5 now against ranked opponents, finishing off against number 5 ranked Arizona State in February 14th. So good schedule heading into the regionals. Right now we have a solid spot going into regionals, but obviously we'd like to improve that, so it'll be a better game. But things are going really well for the program overall this past season, and again, a lot of that is on the ice.
All right. And the head coach is Anthony Greener.
Correct.
All right. And the assistant coach, Nick Rabone.
Correct.
Did I pronounce his name right?
Rabone.
Rabone, yeah. Should have known. Had a 50-50 shot.
It's close.
Yeah. And how long have they been associated with the program?
So both also in their first year. We revamped the entire coaching staff. Both are UNLV graduates, Anthony had a very successful career playing hockey here at UNLV, and Nick has been involved now for this season as well. And Nick comes to us from the roller hockey program, who has had a ton of success here in the past. Axel has actually been a part of that as well, and two great personalities in the locker room as well, and again, really knowledgeable, and both have a passion for where this program is currently and where it's going in the future as well.
Yeah. Well, I went online, and both look very young. And I think that as a player, particularly a collegiate player, you can kind of relate, and knowing that they also played for UNLV, I think it's easier for a lot of the, with regard to the locker room and that kind of culture, that that somebody actually played the game, and I think if you look at some of the successful NFL coaches, NHL coaches, you notice that the guy, and you can spot the guys who used to play. I mean, they got that look, and I think the players really relate to them in the long run. Now, Axel, you're a junior center with the team, and you're actually a local guy here. I mean, you mentioned that you were born, I think, in Chicago, but you moved here when you were like 7 or 8. Yeah. So you're really a native Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was actually lucky enough to. I actually played with Nick Raboni. His senior year was one of my freshman year. So I got to play with him, which was a lot of fun. He's a great role model, and it's been a part of the reason I'm part of this team, honestly.
So that's even you even have a different kind of relationship.
It helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did he play when when you played with him?
So we played roller hockey together.
Okay.
But we were both defensemen at that time, and he's a great role model. He's probably one of the best players I've ever been lucky to play with. So glad to have him here now. Learn a lot from him.
Excellent. And what's your major over at UNLV?
I am an education major.
Education major.
Nice.
And
Teacher.
hopefully looking to coach as well.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. And so, growing up here, how did you first get into hockey?
I really don't know where it started. I just went up to my parents one day and I was like, "Hey, I want to play hockey." Like I had been roller skating for a while, so started playing hockey actually at the Las Vegas Crystal Palace, which is
Crystal Palace,
off a rancho. It's wooden floors,
not dirty laundry playing.
Not a great hockey environment, but that's where a lot of us started, especially from the roller hockey community, but as well as like Nick Raboni and a lot of that group. And I went away to Texas for a year to actually play in El Paso. So I do know a few of the guys coming into town this weekend.
I was going to say,
So that's pretty cool.
It's going to be a reunion of sorts.
A little bit. So it's nice to see some of those guys. Hockey's just a big community. Like it's all one big family. So it's nice to see it coming a lot farther. Yeah,
because I've only been here since '06, but I really, this was a town that I thought that soccer and football were king.
Yeah.
Especially at the youth level. Because Lord knows, with regard to the Vegas Lions, our adult football team, it's hard as hell to find practice.
It's almost impossible.
Or game fields anywhere here in town because, soccer and football at the youth level, and at the adult level, particularly with regard to soccer, because there's so many adult soccer leagues. So, I was just kind of wondering how that. Was it the Midwest roots that you kind of leaned toward? I really like hockey, and this is something I'm going to do.
I think one of the biggest things was it's too hot to do anything outside here. I was like, I need to play a sport.
Find an indoor sport. Now,
that's actually good.
This is a young man who's going to go far in education. It's the tangible items that you can relate to.
Well, I mean, especially being from Chicago, because it's a so much different environment. There's the Four Seasons. I'm originally from Detroit, so Red Wings fan. You're a Blackhawk fan, or?
I am. Yeah.
I'm so sorry about that, but at least we're not in the same conference anymore. So
it's working out okay lately.
You do got a couple cups, but we all know where Hockey Town is and where all the championships are hanging. So
it's true. A lot of history.
But hey, being from the Four Seasons, obviously it's a lot different. I mean, I grew up actually playing roller hockey. What we would do is take the nets off the tennis courts in the winter, so it was a little more challenging because you had to avoid the poles. But it was we had full gear, full on plastic. We didn't have the regular pads. We had these plastic pads with a roller hockey ball, so we had a lot of fun doing that as a kid. And yeah, I noticed I'm not as great of a hockey player or skater anymore. I went up to the Cosmo over the winter break, and there's a lot of people out there, so you don't get a lot of room to get out on the ice or whatever. But maybe I'll get out on the ice with you guys one of these days.
Yeah, come on out. We'll give you a run for it.
Yeah,
just don't check me into the boards, man.
It's hockey, you can't avoid it.
Hey, listen, I'd be willing to go out there, but again, I'm 58. In fact, I'd want to make that, put that on my back This man is 58. So,
yeah, don't hit.
Yes.
Don't hit instead of don't kick or kick. Or
maybe I'll just
non-contact jersey.
Well, blow up my AARP card and kind of put it on my
there
chest.
You go.
As a dead
I can
giveaway.
actually make you a T-shirt like that if you want.
Yeah. So how's the UNLV team doing this year?
So currently the team is 17-7-2. As I said, we're ranked number 9.
Nice.
All of our losses have been very close. A couple overtime losses, and then we've had a few losses to the University of Utah, who's currently ranked number 2 in the region. So we played a very tough schedule this year right out the gate. I think it was more of a situation where I thought scheduling-wise we needed to jump right in and see where we were,
right.
And how far we'd come just in a short time, again, over the summer, really. And I think our first 2 games that we played against the University of Utah, they were still ranked number 2 at that point, really kind of sent a message to the guys that we could compete this season right away. We've definitely shown that, and now from a scheduling standpoint, we're getting calls almost every day for next season about scheduling because they know that playing us will help them going forward from opponents. So
I think that says a lot about
it
the
does.
program as a whole.
Again, from on the ice itself, the guys have really done a good job of competing. We've had a situation in the past where it wasn't always that situation. Axel comes from that, which is he can speak to the overall change from year to year, from where it was the past few seasons to where it is now. And again, really bright future for the program. There's a lot of attention being drawn to us nationally, and rightfully so.
Now, you mentioned before the show, and we really want to give you an opportunity to talk about this. There's a fundraiser that's going to be coming up because, as a program of your type, a lot of it is, you really have to raise funds for this. When is that event coming up, and has it been set yet? Or?
We've chosen a date. It's February 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. Location is still to be determined. We have a few locations that we're working on. But that will be announced here shortly.
Okay.
And the primary focus of that event will be to really educate the city itself on the program and what we're doing now and where we want to go. Obviously, there's a lot of high goals for the program here coming up, and there's been a lot of talk about it. There was a article last weekend in the Review Journal on the front page talking about our growth and the possibility of NCAA hockey, which with what's going on currently in the landscape of college hockey, looks like growth coming west is inevitable, and it would be a good situation for UNLV to jump in on that as well. And there's absolutely been some interest in doing so from NCAA standpoint as well.
So besides Twitter and Facebook, obviously, is there another way that they can get a hold of you guys? Or
Yeah, directly through our website, rebelhockey.com, and then obviously Twitter is at UNLV Rebel Hockey, and we're very active on both Twitter and extremely quick to respond on our website, and our information is very current. We have a media person that travels with us everywhere we go, and she's been really good about updating everybody locally as far as the team, and we like the idea of having that out there for everybody to see what's going on inside the locker room and on the road with us as well. So.
All right, terrific. Again, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate it. And, we'll obviously before the February 19th fundraiser, we'd like to have you come back in.
Yes.
And so then by then, and as soon as you have a fixed location, let us know that so we can spread the gospel.
Absolutely.
And of course.
So this weekend.
Yeah. This weekend, 2 games on Friday and Saturday. And again, that's at the Las Vegas Ice Center, 9295 West Flamingo Road. 4:30 face-off, and that's going to be against University of Texas El Paso.
Which is, for people that don't know, that address is right off of 215 in Flamingo, so it's easy to get to right off of Fort Apache, right? Fort Apache and 215. So it's a great location. There's a lot of restaurants there. It's actually attached to a restaurant, right?
Yeah, there's a bar in there right there, Brooksy's.
So pitchers, pizza.
They'll have drink specials at the game. We'll have bar inside the ice arena, so it should be it's a good event for everybody.
And the cool thing is that you can actually sit in the bar and actually watch the game. So if you're cold sensitive, I guess it would be, because it is cool. Like if you're watching it inside the arena, it's a little cooler, but you can actually watch it from inside the bar. They got tables right there, perfect view of the complete game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty good atmosphere at the games. We've had good turnouts. We're growing. The word's getting out.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much. Really appreciate you coming in. Z Khan, General Manager of the UNLV men's hockey team, and Junior Center, Axel Anderton. Got it right. And again, they've got 2 games Friday and Saturday at the Las Vegas Ice Center. Thank you very much, guys, for coming in.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. We're at the bottom of the hour. Take our bottom of the hour break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Vasa Hansel, senior inside linebacker for Desert Pines High School football team. You're listening to the Southern Nevada Sports News on Vegas, allnetradio.com. Welcome to the Pride. All right. We're back for the third round. Southern Nevada Sports News on Vegas, allnetradio.com. My name is Bill Miller, along with
Jeff Belknap.
And our in-studio guest is Vasa Hansel, who's a senior inside linebacker and H-back.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Desert Pines High School. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in, young man.
Thank you.
So, you really, the Desert Pines program, Jeff and I were familiar with them going back a few years back.
Yep.
And it was, it was struggling at the time. I think this was in 2010, if I'm not mistaken. But recently that program has really turned around. I guess a lot of it has to do with your head coach, Tico Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah. Coach Rod has really come in. I had a year before he came in, and we had another head coach, and he was just trying his best, but guys weren't really into it. And with Coach Rod coming in, and then we also had a new administration come in, we just got everybody behind us, and we got a group of guys right now, a couple of juniors that are going to be seniors next year, and they're ready. So the program is going up and up. We don't look on going down.
All right. Well, I had a chance to see the, I think it was a media day interview with you and Natron.
Yeah.
Aluanaki. Yeah. Big lad.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Big boy. And, and I think this was before the Moapa game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and then we'll get to that game, but you certainly both of you were well spoken, and I think that Coach Rodriguez, was very proud of the team, that the way it had come together.
Yeah. And
you had even mentioned that you had felt that the previous occasions that you had come up short, a lot of it had to do with conditioning.
Right.
And I think both of you mentioned that that was one of the things that you guys really worked on in 2015 and wanted to make a difference, and it seemed to be a difference.
Right.
So this as a senior, this was your last your last time putting on and playing,
right.
In a Desert Pine Jaguar jersey.
Yeah.
And Jeff, played football and
as a Jaguar, by the way.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't
but not
know that.
DP Jaguar.
Oh. Well, he's from Detroit.
AP Jaguar.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Allen Park Jaguars. Yeah.
Yeah. It was with the Inglewood Sentinels.
Oh, okay.
And but by the time my senior year, I certainly decided I wasn't going to play football.
Yeah.
So I didn't have that that last night, that last evening, where you're playing and it's those last downs and the clock's kind of ticking down. And I've talked to guys, and there's always that moment that they're kind of reflecting. And what was that moment for you like?
I remember it quite easily. Defense just got off the field. It was actually, I stripped the running back, but the referee, I guess, didn't see it, said he was down. But I remember coming off the field, they scored and they took the lead. And Tony Fields, my outside linebacker, actually one of the best linebackers in 2017 and in Vegas. He was standing there, and I looked at him. I said, "Our brothers are gonna do it." Teary-eyed, cried, and as soon as the ball came out, fumbled, and they got the ball, I took off everything I had, and I walked to the end zone, and I just thank God, because after this long journey I've come through, I remember growing up, I wasn't really much of a good football player, but just reflecting about how Jesus has really, he's made me the person I am today, and all these offers, it's really come from him. So just looking back at my career, I was ready for college.
Now, speaking of college, talk to us, young man.
College it's always been the goal, but came quick. Senior year came, but right now I'm looking at Adams State University in Alamosa, Colorado, Kentucky Westland College in Owensboro, Kentucky, and College of Idaho in Caldwell, Idaho.
Owensboro, Kentucky. Does that sound familiar, Bill?
It sounds very familiar.
I know some people there that can take care of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously it's an opportunity, and it's a process that, I'd like to think that, young men have the opportunity to really enjoy. I know for some it can be a burden, it can be a pressure, especially for maybe those athletes who are fortunate enough to have a zillion offers coming in. Then suddenly it's it's kind of a frenzy. But so talk to us. How did it feel to know that these schools are actually reaching out to you?
It felt great. Like I said, growing up, I wasn't the best player, and I've always felt like I've been looked down upon as short, little, stubby kid. Haven't really been looked at, but
well, you kind of grew into that.
Yeah, I grew up.
You definitely grew into that.
Took advantage of I'm short, so let me try and be fast. But for them to call me and tell me they like me, it's just God. Like for him to be able to bless me of what I've come from and what my family's come from, there's no other explanation to it.
He is the one.
Yeah.
By the way.
And amen. By the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, and because clearly you're a believer.
Yes.
And Jeff and I have made no bones about ourselves as well. So
absolutely.
It's the fact that you're talking about it and discussing it, how it's impacted you in a positive way. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Keep that actually, because a lot of people lose that when they start to get some recognition. They'll kind of fight away from that. But you are absolutely right. God gives us all of our abilities.
He does.
You got to lean on those abilities.
Yeah.
He's going to bring you through every single storm, and when it gets hard, he's going to be the guy to lean on. So
that's where it is.
Absolutely.
So has your coaching staff lent you some assistance in terms of helping you make a decision?
Yeah, actually, one of our running backs coach, Mr. David Hill, he came out of Arizona, and he's actually looking for another college job, but he's helped not just me, but every single athlete we have at Desert Pines get to college. He's contact coaches nonstop, and Coach Rodriguez, another help there. He nonstop talking to us about where we want to go and how we're going to get there. And they're just two, honestly, the best coaches I've ever had.
So how about the grades? How are the grades?
My grades are good. I ended the semester with a 3.8.
Nice.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, young man. Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
That's good stuff, because a lot of times you get the athletes that are exceptional athletes, and they don't see the classroom as being important. And then unfortunately there are college players that look at it as, hey, I'm an athlete, I shouldn't have to take care of this other stuff. And the all reality is that even the college players that get to the highest level aren't going to play in the pros forever.
Right.
So you have to lean on that college education. So my encouragement to you is get that education out of the way. Do whatever you're going to do from there. I mean, a long-term player in the NFL is what, 4 to 6 years, I think.
Yeah.
The
so minimum is 3. So
yeah. So I mean, you have to look at it from the standpoint is do your work, do everything you need to do, make sure that you have your backup plan in place from day one. Bill and I have always talked about that.
Right.
With the guys that because we work on the semi-pro level.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of the guys that drop the ball, so to speak, in the classroom.
Yeah.
And so, but great talented guys.
Of course. Yeah.
So the good thing is that you understand the concept of just doing it the right way.
Right.
Just keep that focus, man. I'm encouraging you.
Yeah, thank you.
For sure.
It was just growing up. My dad's always instilled in me it's education, and then with church and everything. My pastor, I remember one time, it'll always stick with me. He said we were working out. It was a church program, sold out, Champions in Training.
I knew you were going to say that, sold out.
Yeah.
I love that place over on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah.
I go there on Wednesday night sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been there several times.
It's like a party with Jesus.
When you said that you went to church, I almost said that was the church, but that's awesome, man.
But yeah, he told us he looked at me and basically said, when they build a school and then the field.
Yep.
The field doesn't get built first, so you got to remember you're a student first, athlete second.
Well, to talk about Sold Out's program, they have a championship program. It's Saturdays.
Yeah,
Saturday mornings.
Saturday mornings at usually starts 8 a.m. during the summer. 10-week program, and then at the end of the 10-week program, we award the kids that have came consistently. They Wet and Wild, Cowabunga Bay. You get treated, and it's a workout. You get we've had UFC fighters come in. We've had Minotauro Nogueira was actually in the neighborhood, and he came to us. And Jeremiah Patasi actually came from Desert Pines, and he plays with the Tennessee Titans with Marcus Mariota. Came and talked to us, and a lot of people come in. We've actually had lawyers come in, tell us, it's not always going to be sports. You know, you got semi-pros come down. You got to have an education, so it's real good. It's changed my life tremendously.
Absolutely. So you guys were meeting at Desert Breeze, right? Or Sunset Park?
We changed it. A year before it was at a high school, it was at Spring Valley, Sunset Park, but I'll be sure to let you guys know where it's at this year.
Definitely keep us updated.
Yeah.
That's good. It's a great program because they're not only instilling the importance of God in the whole thing, but they're instilling the importance of, hey, man, this is a short-term thing. We need to, focus on the important things.
Absolutely. And I'm always encouraged when I hear young men talking about, their future beyond football.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be by far the longest day job you ever have is going to be away from the field, depending on what you want to do. Do you have a major in mind? Or?
This is not for just to put it out there, but radio broadcasting.
Perfect.
In high school, we have our magnet program, which actually brought me in, was radio broadcasting. So we get to sit in a booth, much like this one, and we have live shows. And we also do, your senior year, you get kind of like a part-time job where each quarter you change jobs. One time you're a DJ, the next year in marketing.
That's awesome.
Advertising, and
I love that.
Really well.
Well, I tell you what, you're probably going to be here for a while longer. And, we would love to have you come in and maybe co-host a show, a couple of shows here.
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
And also sit with Lawrence, our engineer extraordinaire, and, of course, Video John.
John, he's all over it.
Yeah. And, this is an open opportunity, for you to come in. And,
thank you, guys.
And get that information under your belt. How's the family? Obviously family is, near and dear to you. I met your mom and your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Family's really big.
I wanted to send them a quick shout out, by the way.
Shout out to my family. My sister, basketball game going on right now, so shout out to her.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so watch out for her. She might come in here and interview.
Yeah, I'm down.
Hey, there we go. Now we're talking. And it's one of the things that we really want to do with as far as Southern Nevada Sports News is to concentrate on the youth level, and not just youth football, but also prep level, and the collegiate level as we have today. And and it's some of the sports that a lot of people don't necessarily. Everybody's going to know about the Super Bowl by now. Everybody knows who's going to play in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So and we're going to take our last break, and then we're going to want to get some picks from you in the upcoming Super Bowl, especially since you're a football player.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then when we come back, we're going to be joined again by Vasa Hansel, Desert Pines High School senior. This is the Southern Nevada Sports News Show on Vegas, allnetradio.com. Welcome to the Pride. All right. We are back for the fourth knockout round. Southern Nevada Sports News, VegasAllNetRadio.com. My name is Bill Miller, along with
Jeff Belknap.
And our in-studio guest, Vasa Hansel, is a senior inside linebacker and H-back from Desert Pines High School. Thanks for hanging around with us for the knockout round.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, all right. And, so before we get into our picks, we've got our prognosticator extraordinaire, Jeff Belknap, here.
Yep.
And I just kind of get by. But I wanted to also, if you had any other, shout-outs that you wanted to send some thanks out to or, wish luck to, this is an opportunity, young man.
Thank you to everybody that's tuning in right now here. Thank you to my family out in American Samoa right now. Shout out to my Auntie Lana. Desert Pines, my dad, he couldn't be here because he's with my sister right now, but I want to thank everybody that's here and Hansel family. I'm here.
Well, given the fact that it seems like there's a lot of athletes in your family, somebody's got to cover something.
Yeah.
It seems so. Dad's with your sister.
Yeah.
Who's playing basketball? Is she also at Desert Pines?
No, she's in middle school, 8th grade right now.
Oh, okay. So she's
cool.
What middle school is she?
Sylvestri.
Sylvestri.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right around the corner from
DP.
Yeah. Oh
right.
no, DP is actually it's on the north side of town, and I stay over here at the South Point.
Okay.
I stay by the South Point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sylvester, that sounds familiar. Where's that located?
Sylvestri.
It's just down the street from South Point.
Yeah, Silverado Ranch.
Oh, Silverado Ranch. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a high school, just one that just went into high school, so we've been to a lot of schools.
Oh, yeah.
Then watching basketball and everything, I can get them crossed up a little bit. But, so sports family, you have anyone else in the family or just the two of you guys? Or
I got little brothers that they're constant football. My sister's at Liberty playing, she's playing volleyball. I got a 7th grade sister that's playing volleyball, 5th grade brother, got a a lot of cousins and got an uncle in the NFL, so it's
nice. Who's the NFL uncle?
Domata Pecco. He plays for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes. Wow. All right.
And then my cousin Kyle Pecco, he actually just got done with the NFL Players Association Bowl.
Yeah.
So all the seniors play. He just got done with that. And my cousin Vi, he's out in Spain, playing for the Rus Imperials, playing football out there. So
yeah. So this
awesome.
Clearly this is this is in the DNA.
Yeah.
And don't think for a minute that these ADs and these scouts, let's look at the lineage. Let's look at the lineage. Here, okay. Yeah, let's give this young man an opportunity.
Right.
Well, just remember, like, when you're going to these smaller schools, that, Cam Newton went to junior college,
right?
Right before he went back to Auburn, and now he's in the Super Bowl. So, that sometimes people overlook players like that, but if you look in the NFL draft, like on a year-to-year basis, there's always players that you're like, where's this school?
Right. Yeah.
So, just keep doing what you're doing, man. And stay focused and praising God more than anything else. I mean, that's he's the one to make stuff happen.
Yes, he is.
So going into this last game, what's your football team, first of all?
If it had to pick, would be the Bengals.
Bengals? Oh, yeah.
Well, I can see why. Yeah. Can't imagine.
Right.
Sometimes we have a tendency to lean towards family,
Right.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So, is there another team? Coming from Vegas, it's difficult because we don't have, an NFL franchise. So,
no, I just player watch,
Okay.
Especially because, Vegas, no football team, so just like Luke Kuechly, look out for that.
Oh, he's a beast.
Manti Te'o.
He is amazing.
Yeah, he's monster.
Yeah.
I remember watching him back in BC, saying this guy is going to be a beast in the NFL, and two straight weeks, pick sixes.
Right.
Literally, like almost the exact same play, too.
Yeah, crazy.
Did you see, by the way, the guy fall out of the stands?
No.
Oh, wow. Someone fell out.
Yeah, when he picked off that pass, he was kind of looping back, and literally a guy fell out of the stands. It was absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen it, you got to Google it.
Okay.
I think he was leaning, trying to maybe get the ball,
Yeah.
And then he just fell out.
Well, I like one of the comments Troy Aikman made. He goes, "By now, Jesus, how many kids in Charlotte don't have a football?"
Right.
Right, especially after those interceptions and
the season that they've had.
Well, they scored 7 touchdowns yesterday.
And it's amazing. But Carolina, I'm going to let you go first, young man. Carolina, Denver.
I'm kind of tied, but I'd have to go with Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, more deserving. Cam Newton has been just on fire. So
I don't know how. I know Denver's defense has come up big lately.
Really.
And I think that, they're kind of overshadowed by the way that Carolina's defense has been playing.
One of the top rushing defenses in the league.
I think this is going to be a very low-scoring Super Bowl. Yeah. I think if somebody gets to 20, they win.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's.
So we betting pizza again?
I think it's going to be Carolina. Well, God, I think I still owe you two. I think it's going to be Carolina, and I think it's going to be probably by a field goal.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so let me start by saying, Carolina has always been my second favorite team. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. Our team is called the Vegas Lions, but we always wore Carolina colors.
Yep.
So that was the way we did it. Like I have like my loyalties there, Lions in the colors. But I like Cam Newton. I'm a big Benjamin fan who went out for the season. The wide receiver from Florida State. That's a wide receiver for Carolina. My early pick is that I actually do like the under 44.5. I'm not sure if I can lay the points. I think it was like 3.5 points, but we'll see.
All right.
Talk more about that next week.
Well, listen, I'd like to thank our guest today. I'd like to thank Z Khan, GM of UNLV men's hockey team, and Axel Anderton, their junior center. Vasa Hansel for joining us in the studio, senior at Desert Pines High School. Of course, Jeff, Lawrence, John, thank you so much. Join us next week. It'll be, I think, is that the first
Super Bowl, right before Super Bowl?
Before Super Bowl. That means all the media frenzy will start. We'll talk about the Super Bowl, amongst other things, on Vegas, allnetradio.com, Southern Nevada Sports News. God bless.
God bless.
God bless.